We're so excited to have our sweet little baby boy on the way. We've been setting up our pack and play and swing and getting
little things ready.
Yeah.
Some matcha.
Around 2 o'clock in the morning, I really was having a hard time with getting comfortable, and so we decided to just go ahead and go to the hospital.
We are so happy to announce the birth of our first child. His name is Garrett David Duggar. Second child, Addison Renee Duggar.
It's been a lot of fun welcoming our second little one into the family.
We're so excited to announce that we're expecting again.
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's time to get started and it's time for some Duggar updates. We're going to talk about Kendra and Joseph Duggar and an event that Kendra went to with her mom, Christina, who is also pregnant. Now, if you follow the Duggars, you know that they are known for a few things: having a million children, reproducing a lot, and women not wearing pants. Beyond that, they're also known for beliefs such as the kids can only listen to hymns. They don't watch TV. Oh, well, they kind of watch TV, but not any mainstream TV. And they can't date, they only can court, and they can't kiss, and they have to side hug. Those are just to name a few. Now, when they're not busy following the rules, the wives are busy reproducing, and they like to pop them out very quickly. Kendra has been going back to back to back with her babies, which has had a lot of fans worried about whether or not her body has recovered enough from her other two pregnancies. She is mother to Garrett and Addison is actually only a year old. And so she will be having a baby here this month. That's right, Kendra is 9 months pregnant with a baby girl. Yesterday, Kendra and her mom, Christina, went shopping, and guess who else is pregnant? Christina. Christina is actually 41 years old, almost 42, and she is about to have, I believe, her 10th child, 9th or 10th. So she is continuing on sort of the Michelle Duggar trajectory that she will have and continue to have children in her 40s, which isn't a huge deal. A lot of women are today having children later. It's just once you get past a certain age, you do need to have a little bit more follow-up with your doctors to make sure that everything is safe, not only for the mom, but for the baby. So Christina is entering into a period where she's about to have another child. Some of her pregnancies have been very high risk, and so fans have been worried about Christina going through another high-risk pregnancy and concerned about whether or not her body can continue to handle this. Overwhelmingly, when I read the comments from you guys on these videos, I see a lot of empathy in regards to the taxing strain the body goes through by these women to have all of these children, and your overall concern for their health, their well-being, and making sure that they survive, because we know that it can be ultimately very dangerous in childbirth. One person you're very concerned about right now is Jessa Duggar. She announced that she's pregnant with her 4th. She also announced that she had a miscarriage, and so some of you were concerned in comments yesterday because you noted that she had gone through previous hemorrhaging, and I actually mixed this up in yesterday's video. I said that she had bleeding issues with Henry and Ivy, but it was actually Spurgeon and Ivy. So yes, correct. I will correct that. And you're concerned that she may try to do this at home. Again, she's done 3 home births. The last birth she was actually supposed to do at the hospital, but last minute decided to do it at home and then had to be rushed to the hospital following the birth because she couldn't stop bleeding. So some of you guys are concerned about Jessa, and I would just say just keep her in your thoughts or your prayers if you pray. So getting back to Miss Kendra, she and her mom are both pregnant right now, and it's not super uncommon in the fundamentalist world that when they have children at a very young age, which Christina had Kendra when she was really young, I think she was like 18 or 19 years old, she would have babies along the same time as when Kendra has babies. And this is actually, I think, the second time they've had a baby at the same time. She was also pregnant when Kendra was pregnant with Garrett. So Christina and Kendra were out shopping. Rialana is the nation's largest premier consignment event for children. And it apparently has events that occur in multiple parts around the country. They do this all over the place. Arkansas is one of them. And these consignment events have toys and they have clothing, and all things children from girls and boys. And as a result, it's a consignment option. So people will provide things to Rhea Lana, and then if their product sells, they get a cut of that. And so it's sort of a way for parents to also make some money without, it's like a huge garage sale in a way, without the moms or the dads having to do the garage sale themselves. So they go to this event every year, and they always make a haul of it. And yesterday was no exception. Anna Duggar was actually there with her daughter, her oldest daughter, and then Kendra was there with her mom. So Kendra shared a photo on her Instagram with her mom and her wearing masks. And the masks were ill-fitted, but that's okay. It's at least she's wearing a mask, and it says shopping for kids clothes at the Rhea Lana sale. I buy almost all of my kids clothes here. Literally, it's the best place to do a one-stop shopping for all of your kids and babies' needs. And so she posted a photo with her mom, and both her and her mother have very big bellies. I think Christina is due in May. Kendra is actually due this month. And it was apparently held at a convention center in Arkansas. So she's there shopping with her mom. She gets a lot of positive comments, but I saw so many overwhelmingly negative comments that one person wrote this: Kendra, you do not wear your mask properly. It should be higher up on your nose and pinched more. If it's too big, you can tie a little knot in the ear loop so it fits tighter across your face. So that was like basically one of the only mask ones I saw, but the majority of the comments that people were posting were, I honestly think you need to stop posting pictures of your mom pregnant at the same time you are. It's disturbing. She needs to stop having babies. Now, one of the fans actually clapped back for Kendra and said, the only thing disturbing is your rude comment. Who are you to tell her to stop having kids? I pray no one ever treats you the way you just treated her. And another person said, since when is it disturbing for a 38-year-old woman to be having babies? The fact that you still think it's okay for her to comment something like that is what's truly disturbing. Now, Christina is actually 41. She'll be 42 in July. So the age is a little bit off there, but you get the point. But there was so many more of these comments, like, do you girls do anything besides reproduce? Another person said, this makes me nauseous. They believe that God decides how many children to bless them with. So she will likely continue to have more till her body has had enough, like Michelle. And this other one said, her mom is only 44 years old, not that old for children-bearing years. My husband is 44 and we're expecting our third child. It's not like she's in her 50s or 60s. So mom is actually 41, just so you know. She was born in July of 1979. So if anyone's wondering when Christina's birthday, July of 1979. And then one other person said, just a question, how many kids are the women trying to have in the whole family? Do they have a limit, or is it in their religion to keep having them? People are really disturbed and upset that Kendra and her mom are pregnant at the same time. Just so we all can get to this place, and since you guys like a little bit of education sometimes, here's what their belief is. They believe in sort of this Quiverfull idea about birth control, and what it is the Quiverfull is a theological position held by some conservative Christian couples who belong to Christian denominations that see children as a blessing from God. It encourages procreation, abstaining from forms of birth control, and including natural family planning and sterilization. You see this in all sects of Christianity. You even can see this in Catholicism. If you know, in Catholicism, natural family planning can actually be really controversial. Like some people in Catholicism that are very strict Catholics will be very against natural family planning, which is basically allowing you to follow your cycle and not to abstain from friendly time, front hugging time with your husband when you're ovulating. So basically they are completely and utterly they are super against any form of contraceptives. They believe that contraceptives are sort of interfering with God's ultimate plan for children. And so if you try to prevent it in any sort of way, you're trying to play God with your family. You're trying to control what's within your family. So they believe in giving up all forms of contraceptive, and they'll just accept as many babies as God will give them, which causes women to have children all throughout their age, all throughout their childbearing age. So that's why you will see moms that become pregnant in their 40s after having a dozen or more children, because as long as they are still able to reproduce, they will. Now, the problem when it gets to this point for some of these mothers is that they've had so many pregnancies and their bodies have gone through so much that the more pregnancies that they have, they can end up having more and more complications. We saw what happened with Michelle. She had Josie, who was a micro preemie. She lost Jubilee, and then she ultimately had to have a hysterectomy because her body just could not handle any more pregnancies. Josie was a micro preemie, like she had her very, very, very early. She was very tiny. Her health was very fragile. So it got to a point for Michelle where it was very dangerous for her to have kids, and she just kept having kids, which can put some of these women into very precarious situations that can ultimately cause them to pass away, which is why some of you guys have been concerned about Jessa. The comments to Kendra I thought were a little bit rude, but you know, I understand people's concern, but calling someone disgusting or saying something's gross or making her mom feel bad or shamed for having a child at 41, I think is wrong. It's like okay to have criticism about it. I've been critical of it just because I think these fundamentalist moms should stop having children. And I think after your children have left the house and you are starting to have grandchildren and you already have 10 children, you might not need any more children, but their religious belief has brainwash them and condition them to think that there's no other possible way. So as long as they can breed, they will. I wouldn't be surprised if Christina has even more children in the future. So for now, that's what we've got on Kendra and her mom, and I'd like to know what your thoughts are. Were the fans rude, or do you agree, or what do you think about this whole Quiverfull movement? Tell me in the comments below. Bye guys.